The Classical Style by Charles Roson.
Structure and ornament. 4 movements sonata form.
The first movement sonata form is the most common form, consisting of 2 sections with a symmetrical resolution.
This form is characterized by harmonic tension and rhythmic animation. The slow movement sonata form is a symmetrical resolution with no development. This form is less common than the first movement sonata form.
The minuet sonata form is in 2 parts, always in 3 phrases, and often part of a larger ternary ABA form. This form is characterized by a relaxed character.
The finale sonata form is loosely organized and resolves the tensions of the entire work.
This form has a greater range of patterns than any other movement. These forms are not molds but results of musical forces.
Each form blends into the other with latent freedom throughout the latter half of the 18th century.
The role of ornamentation in classical music. The classical style is characterized by a principle of recapitulation through the resolution of previous tensions. This is in contrast to the Baroque ternary form, where the initial A returns unaltered at the end. The ornamentation of the repeat of the exposition becomes an actual embarrassment. This is why the 3 great classical composers added almost nothing to the art of ornamentation.
Several problems arise from the complex relation of contemporary performance to a changing style. For example, how much and where should ornamentation be added to Mozart's concertos and arias?
Our guides are most unreliable, and even well-meaning admirers of Mozart's music have created mostly vile ornamented versions.
We must understand how musical taste can change in 25 years.
In the classical style, the music of Haydn after 1775 cannot be ornamented, and Beethoven was against musicians who added anything to his music. The development of Beethoven, who carried on the classical tradition against the current of his time, must have been incomprehensible to Hummel. Indeed, the whole tendency of the classical style is against the heavy ornamentation of the Baroque and Mannerist styles.
Mozart's use of ornamentation. Mozart's closeness to the operatic style meant that the tradition of ornamentation in opera was very powerful.
It's known that arias in Mozart's operas were sung with added ornaments during his lifetime. However, we don't know how much of this ornamentation Mozart planned for, tolerated, or deplored. The existence of 2 versions of some concert arias, unornamented and ornamented, both by Mozart himself, proves the relevance of ornamentation to Mozart's vocal style.
Mozart was not averse to ornamentation, as seen in the slow movement of the piano sonata in F, K. 332, and the 11th variation of the finale of the sonata in D, K. 284. Both pieces were published in 1784 with extra ornaments added by Mozart himself.
It's significant that both these pieces are marked adagio.
Mozart's allegros can absorb ornamentation no better than Haydn's.
Mozart's slow movement in K. 332 is already full of decoration, making it difficult to use as a model for later works. Haydn and Mozart's music killed Rococo decoration, and Beethoven's music is unthinkable with ornamentation.
Challenges of ornamentation.
Contemporary performance descriptions, memoirs, and treatises can help, but we must be cautious. Most descriptions of performances are misleading, and musical fashions change rapidly. Written-out versions contemporary with the composer can be both the best and worst evidence for improvised ornamentation. Literal treatment is not desirable, as it can result in a lifeless performance. Ornamentation in Mozart's music. Mozart's music is a masterpiece that deserves to be heard with the utmost care and attention to detail.
Today, we'll delve into the importance of ornamentation in Mozart's music.
Ornamentation is a tricky problem in Mozart's music, and it's not always desirable to treat the musical text literally. In fact, nothing disconcerts a composer more than an exact but lifeless performance of the notes.
The preservation of the original melody's outline was a relatively minor consideration when ornaments were to be added.
Interest, grace, and expressive quality were much more important.
Each composer and each work must be reconsidered individually when it comes to ornamentation.
For example, a brief cadenza must be inserted at fermatas when the melodic outline makes no sense in the context of Mozart's style. Ornamentation must be related to style, and it is necessary to decorate only when the musical sense requires it. In the end, it's about preserving the qualities of Mozart's music that were most revolutionary and most personal. The evolution of musical ornamentation. In the Baroque period, ornamentation was used to fill the empty space and achieve continuity in music. It covered the underlying structure and kept the music flowing. However, in the classical period, ornamentation was used to articulate the structure of music. It emphasized the structure and sharpened the listener's sense of it. The function of decoration changed from hiding the structure to emphasizing it. This change in function was reflected in all the arts of the period. The solid body of aesthetic doctrine that condemned ornament as immoral dominated the second half of the 18th century. This led to a sweeping revolution of taste in history. In the later works of Beethoven, the notion of ornament often completely disappears, drowned in the substance of the work. Music is as much idea and gesture as sonority.